So guys, before we get started, don't forget we do have that amazing discount code thanks to Tier 0 Games going on right now. And all you have to do is put in ZWGames5 to get 5% discount on your total order at tier0games.com. The links will be in the description below. What's up YouTube? Dale here from Z4 Games, bringing you, thanks to Chaos Impact, an update to Evil Eyes. And as you can see, they've got a brand new Link 2 monster which they've desperately needed. My only hopes is that they get a Link 1 because if we get a Link 1 it just makes life so much easier. However, this card is still amazing for the deck. It helps it out so much and it actually gives you a reason to play this bad boy here. So, before we get started, please hit the notification bell because we will be bringing you a load of new decks coming out of Chaos Impact. Also, if this video gets 100 likes, I will do you guys a test hand video so you can see the ins and outs of this deck and how consistent it is. I have aimed to go for a more pure version of this deck. The other versions that you can play are more control based using the Artifact engine or more explosive using the Danger engine and also involving the dog with inside the Evil Eye archetype. This version I've gone with here is mainly pure. The whole idea of this is, and what more people are doing more than not, is going into the Link 2 turn 1. All it requires is an Evil Eye and another monster. Then you have the ability to constantly negate card effects on the field or monster effects on the field once per turn. Then it will destroy a card it points to. So it actually doesn't have a mandatory cost like Surzial and the others that is going to negatively affect you unless you put something in a zone it points to. Alternatively, if you make this in a zone it points to one of your opponent's monsters, it will do the exact same thing because it just has to destroy something it points to. So you go, okay, standby phase, use my effect during my turn, do a little bit of damage, leave the monster that I'm pointing to on your board. Then during your standby phase, I have to mandatory trigger my Gorgon's effect to pop your monster because it's the only thing it points to. So, before we get into the profile, like, comment, subscribe, share, and let's get these 100 likes in so you can see how this deck operates. So let's get down to the nitty gritty and show you the exact layout for the deck. So of course we do play triple Surzial. Surzial is your main deck monster, very powerful. And if you open up well enough, you can get this guy plus the Link 2 on board, which means you are popping one of your opponent's special summon monsters. You are also negating one of your opponent's monster effects as well. And that can be enough within itself to stop your opponent going off. Surzial, everyone should know what this guy does by now, but if it is, when it's summoned, it searches out an Evil Eye card, which, when we show the rest of the profile, you'll show a certain card that we use in order just to make this a 1-card Link 2. Ideally, you want to be getting into your Evil Eye of Gorgon or your Evil Eye of Selene as well. So, when it is attached with Evil Eye of Selene, you get to quick effect, target one special summon monster your opponent controls and destroy it. Only use the effect once per turn, and then during the next standby phase, if this effect was activated, you destroy one card you control. That is where, of course, the Artifact engine comes in, but that is mainly better because it does need a turn to set up. You're not going to be able to activate his effect going first, unless your opponent, by all means, drops a Phantasme on you, which again is rare that you're going to go into the Gorgon and get Phantasmade. So it does happen. If it does happen, that is where the first effect comes in. But there's so many ways it needs to happen. It's just not worth main decking the Artifact in this build. We then play double Medusa because the one thing that this deck does lack is you need to have the ability to get your Evil Eye monster on board. We've got plenty of ways of getting other monsters on the board. So we do need to just get an Evil Eye monster on the board so that we can make Gorgon first turn. Medusa, again, is when this card is normal summoned, you get to target an Evil Eye card in your graveyard, accept itself, and add it to your hand. If this card is equipped with Evil Eye Selene, quick effect, you can target one monster in your opponent's graveyard and banish it. If you have activated this effect during the next standby phase, banish one card in your graveyard. So again, you can see how the mandatory costs are a little bit different from the Gorgon. Next, a brand new introduction into the deck is we do play Basilisk, Familiar of the Evil Eye. Now the reason we play this is it is a free summon if you control an Evil Eye monster. So you can see where Surzial, normal summon, search out the Basilisk, Basilisk special summons itself, goes into Link 2. Now obviously to make this a little bit better, you do want to have the ability of getting your Evil Eye. You can only special summon this card once per turn. And then during your main phase, you can send one Evil Eye spell from your deck to the graveyard, only use the effect once per turn. So that is where you send Selene from your deck to the graveyard, pay Selene's cost to add it back to your hand, and then you make the link 2 with your Gorgon, and your Gorgon then goes off and has the protection of Selene as well and starts boosting its attack. We then play triple Ash Blossom, as it is the best hand trap around right now. I haven't picked up my other 2 copies of this, so bear with me. I will get my 2 copies of this and finish it off. And that is why we go with Ash. It is the most powerful hand trap in the game as of right now. Triple Pot of Extravagance. You do not rely heavily on your extra deck. You do play free Gorgon. If you lose all free Gorgon, then you're going back to pre-Chaos Impact kind of Evil Eyes. But Extravagance is the best draw card in this deck. You don't really want to be playing a Lure. Duality I've taken out because I want to be getting to Gorgon. I'm going to be special summoning. My cards that can break my opponent's board are going to be special summoning as well. So Duality does not help me at all. We then play Triple Call by the Grave because you need your Surzeal or your Field Spell to go off. You need both of those going off, and that gets you going. So your Field Spell is basically a 6th Surzeal, because then you play that. Technically you play 7 with your Terraforming, so you've got 7 Surzeals in the deck, and you need to make sure that they all go off in order to get the combo going. Now, triple instant fusion. The reason we play this is A, get another monster on board. B, if I go first or second, this card is useful. If I go first, I bring out Millennium Eyes, I normal summon my Surzeal gets his effect off, my Millennium Eyes protects my Surzeal, I go straight into the Gorgon. In top of that, I can special summon the Serpent or the Basilisk and use the Basilisk and the Millennium Eyes to make Gorgon, and that way I don't actually lose Surzeal. If I have a way of opening up another Selene or a Gorgon Eye, I can then connect the 2 of them and I can pop a special summon monster and I can negate a monster effect. So I actually find Instant Fusion very, very powerful because, like I said, it can go both first and second. I haven't built this deck to do either or, I've had it to do a balance of the 2. We then play triple Super Poly. Now, obviously, all our monsters are dark, so we can actually extend it into game with Super Poly. But the reason we're using this is mainly to break our opponent's board. Super Poly, in my opinion, is one of the strongest cards right now to break any board. Now, the reason this is so good is because you have the ability to break any board that puts up multiple darks, any board that puts up a fusion and a dark, any board that puts up something of the same attribute but different types. This is, and it can't be responded to. That's what means it's so good, is you can break so many negates with this card, which is why I'm playing it at 3. We then play Evil Eye Domain, Pandaloria, sorry. This card I've got is very, very good. You use its first effect more times than not, but then obviously once it is destroyed, you then get an additional effect off of that. And one thing that most people do forget is if your opponent monster destroys or attacks a Evil Eye monster, both players take the damage. So if they forget about that and then attack you with lower life points, that could actually lose them the game. We then play triple Evil Eye of Selene and 1 Evil Eye of YUGIOH. I believe that's how you spell it. Gorgonio? Neo? Whatever. Now, 2 Selene is very, very important right now, and the YUGIOH, you only need to play 1 of it. So you equipped it to an Evil Eye monster. You can only activate 1 Evil Eye of Gorgon once per turn. This card's name becomes Evil Eye Selene while in the spell and track card zone. While your life points are lower, which you do quite a lot with some of your Evil Eye effects, than your opponents, the equipped monster gains attack equal to the difference. You embanish this card from the graveyard, discard 1 Evil Eye card, and add 1 Evil Eye spell or trap from your deck to your hand except itself. Now, 1 is more than enough. It is searchable. Evil Eye Selene, of course, gives everything. I think you pay 500 life points to activate the effect, and then they'll gain 500 attack every time you activate an Evil Eye effect. So these are both very, very good and very, very useful. But like you see, Selene is more important than the Gorgon. The Gorgon still allows you to play, because you can only play each of these once per turn, you then get to play a Selene and a Gorgon. And that's where you can then set up your Surzeal and your Gorgon to have as much interruption as possible. We then play double Evil Eye Awakening, basically because it special summons 1 Evil Eye monster from your hand or graveyard. If you have Selene in your spell and track card zone, you can special summon 1 Evil Eye monster from your deck instead. So the whole idea of this is it's an additional extender that can be searched in order to end your board on Surzeal plus Gorgon. Or, if you really, really need to, extend your board to go into the Gorgon. So it's very, very useful and can actually play around. So if your opponent does negate your Surzeal or anything like that, you still have the ability to kind of extend a little bit more and still get the outcome you want. You just have to go the long way around it. 1 Terraforming for our field spells. 1 Monster Reborn, because, you know, if we're using Awakening, we might as well use the best generic revival card in the game. And then the last spell is the 1 Evil Eye Confrontation. So if you control an Evil Eye monster, target 1 spell or trap card your opponent controls, destroy it. And if you do, and Evil Eye of Selene is in your spell and trap card zone, you can banish the destroy card instead. So, you know, quick play, back row, hate. Then we're playing triple Impermanence. This, of course, is another step up from a hand trap, purely because if you do need to shut something on that's off that's already in the zone, you can set this. This can also help break boards. It can also help disrupt your opponent making their plays, and it can't be called by the grave. So if you have it, play it. If you don't, you do have stuff that you can use like Effect Veilers and Ghost Ogres. Anything like that does the job just as well. We've then got double Crackdown. Now I did have this at 3, but I've put it down to 2 purely because I think I still don't want to be setting up my turn. It's very, very good disruption, and if I do open up this card, it's very, very good. However, it does mean that I have to set my turn up. And like I've shown with the instant fusions and stuff, I want to be able to build my board first and have the ability of going both first and second. You can change these out. So if you want to go for a more second, like turbo build, you go with Mind Control. It does the exact same thing as Crackdown, but you're going to be using Mind Control to steal an opponent's monster and link off. So if you imagine you go Mind Control plus Instant Fusion to steal 2 monsters, you got Thousand Eyes and then Mind Control, then Normal Summon, then get rid of one of those, mainly your Evil Eye, and you can continue to link up into the link free should you need to. We then play 1 Evil Eye Defeat. I love the artwork on this card, so nice. So if you control an Evil Eye monster, target 1 monster on the field, or up to 2 if Evil Eye Selene is in your spell and trap card zone, and return them to the hand. So it's a double compulse, which can really catch your opponent off. And then probably the best artwork on Evil Eye, I absolutely love this one, is Retribution. So when a spell trap is activated while you control Evil Eye monster, negate the activation. If you do, destroy it. If Evil Eye Selene is in your spell and trap card zone, this card's activation and effect cannot be negated. So red reboot, bye-bye. And that is it for the full main deck. Apologies for the white sleeves, they are purely because, as you can imagine, with Impermanences and Part of Extravagance, they do bounce around a lot of decks, and they are currently in my main deck that I am playing for the upcoming format. Moving on to the extra deck, we do play triple Gorgon Empress of the Evil Eyed. Love this card, brand new card. It does come in Prismatic. I am not that wealthy. I am not going for triple Prismatic. Super will do me just fine. Artwork is stunning. 2 monsters, including an Evil Eye monster, points up and points down. Gains 100 attack for each Evil Eye card with different names in your graveyard. If this card is equipped with Evil Eye Selene, quick effect, target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of this turn. Only use the effect of Gorgon Empress once per turn. Once per turn during the next standby phase after this effect was activated, destroy 1 monster this card points to. Now there's no additional mandatory cost of if you cannot fulfill this, destroy this card. It is quite as simple as it says. Destroy something that it points to. If you don't put anything it points to, but you put it to something that your opponent has pointed to it, goodbye opponent's monster for free. It doesn't target, you just destroy it. So as long as it can be destroyed, goodbye. And then we actually have a reason to play this guy, Zerziel, ruler of the Evil Eyed. Now this guy is really powerful. It's a link 3, points up, left, right, left, bottom. If this card is link summoned using a monster with 26 or 100 attack. So Selene, give this 500, puts it straight away onto 2400. If you then have 2 Evil Eye cards in your graveyard with different names, the link material is made, it is 2600. So it requires 2+ Evil Eye monsters, very easy. That is your Gorgon and of course your Zerziel. So if you wanted to and you just want to go ramp, you go straight into Ruler of the Evil Eyed. If this card was linked summoned using a monster with 2600 or higher attack as material, it can make a second attack during each battle phase. If this card is equipped with Eye of Selene, quick effect, target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy it. Only use the effect once per turn. Once per turn during the next standby phase after this effect was activated, negate the effects of 1 effect monster this card currently points to. Exact same thing as Gorgon. If it doesn't point to anything, it's not negating anything. If you point it towards an opponent's monster, you are going to be negating it. Simple as that. And it can attack twice as a 2600 base, not to mention if you have Eye of Selene, it will gain an additional 500 as well. Moving on, because we do play Super Poly, I am playing 1 Mud Dragon, 2 Starving Venoms, purely because there are more dark decks running around than anything than the moment. 1 Salaman, Great Violet Chimera, because after this ban list, they are still very strong. 2 Predaplant, Dracus Capellios, purely because there's a lot of people playing Thunders that are trying to bounce around Super Poly. Sometimes they leave themselves on a Colossus and a Titan thinking that is going to be enough. Nope, that's where Super Poly comes in and breaks your board. Also on top of that, Pendulums are still a very big threat. And again, that is where Super Poly can catch them by guard and go, boom, Super Poly, buy entire board, let's go. We then play double Millennium Eyes. Obviously this will break the bank at the moment because it has only had one print, but it is your going first instant fusion target to protect your stuff. And then we do play the double Thousand Eyes, as it is our going second instant fusion target to steal one of our opponent's monsters or bait out a negate. Simple as that. So that is it for the pure Evil Eye deck profile. I really love this deck. The second it came out, the artwork was just stunning. The archetype was awesome as well. And, you know, it's one of the first decks I saw and I was like, damn, I want this. I want it so bad. Like, it's so good. Minus Dark Magician, of course, that is the OG. Now I'm so happy that we got an additional extra deck monster because it is what the deck needed. We had a Link 3 that we were never ever going to get into because we didn't want to flood the board with free Evil Eye monsters. Now we don't have to. We actually have the way of going one card into it. We also have a way of getting a very, very cool and very, very powerful Link 2 monster, and it is a super. So if you've already got the original cards, which I hope you have, because Cerzios are still about 20-25 quid, and the other little bits are quite cheap to pick up, it's just a pain in the butt to get hold of, then you should be absolutely fine. It is not going to be toppling the meta. People are using Cerzios as individual essences of stuff like Thunder Dragons and Dracos. But as a pure deck, I thoroughly enjoy it and have a lot of fun with it, and it's very, very powerful to play around with. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this profile. I hope it gave you a couple of ideas for your own build. Like I said, there are other variants. If this video does get 100 likes, I will do a test time video for this deck and show you off a couple of the combos. On top of that, I'll also speak with Carl, who has a different version of this deck as well, and I can give you the alternative version that he plays, which involves the Dangers and the Evil Eye Guard Dog. Simple as. But for now, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell because you want to see all these amazing decks that we're going to be bringing you. We've got Rockets, we've got Tenyis, we've got Hakai, or Unchained as they're now called, Marincess. We've got so much coming up right now thanks to Chaos Impact. And next week is YCS London, people. Come on. So, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share. If your sneak peek is tomorrow, best of luck and bless your pools. And until next time, guys, as always, happy dueling. What's up YouTube, Dad here from Zephyr Games. Thanks for watching that video. If you liked it, please hit that big thumbs up button in the bottom corner as well. And don't forget to hit the big red subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything. Make sure you click that notification bell as well so you know every time one of our new videos goes up. Throughout the whole year of 2019, we're going to have more deck profiles, duels, and of course pack openings for you guys to watch and enjoy the entire year round. So stay tuned for more, and as always guys, happy dueling.